We are away, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a great show for you today. Today's date on the big screen is the 26th of April, 2024 to 7:20 p.m. Friday night in Querétaro, Mexico. It's going to be almost as big a night as Steve Ballmer. More to say about that, plus the extra scene, but my poor laptop I don't think can handle two 4K cameras. It's a bit touchy. But regardless, we're going to talk about the stupidity of the Goy and their silly protests at universities. Look, the Gazans are going into the Sinai, and just fucking get used to it. I keep telling you that, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We'll do a rundown of some great articles some people found. We will look at cops testing some AI stuff, but we'll keep it pretty short, actually. There's some great stage acting at a 2019 conference against good old Big Dick Cheney. You know who I'm talking about. And we just need to go over that multipolar world again. But the main focus is going to be, of course, we mentioned Mary's been meeting people and she made someone cry. Apparently, she killed it last night at a big Republican meeting, and she was really happy. She really nailed it. She's getting the narrative and she's pumping it out, doing a really good job. And some interesting people have been contacting her and want her to keep pushing it. So there's definitely a change in the air. And we'll watch all the whores online suddenly get their orders and the click of the fingers, and suddenly the issues are out there. But she said, when she just showed the Likud Netanyahu, generalized Israeli betrayal, always remembering that the Israeli press have been screaming for literally since at least 2008, if not earlier. You can find articles. Because obviously they knew what was happening and said, no, we don't want to be with China and Russia. No, thank you. No, thank you. And so it has begun, the fight. And we'll just make some generalized discussions between us all. And anyway, Mary made someone cry. They actually cried because they were, I've been betrayed by Bibi. Oh, I wish she had video of it. Oh, how I wish. Just in case someone's watching from Republican parties, things are always recorded, at least on audio. But privacy is always maintained for obvious reasons. And also just for people's trust. I've spoken to interesting people I've never recorded, and trust me, you would want to record who I've spoken to, and I've never recorded them. Otherwise, no one's going to talk to you. So unless you are very dodgy, then I start squinting my little Scorpio squint, and anyway, the rest is history. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a funny one for you. It's Friday night. You're going to love this. You're going to laugh your ass off. Thank you, Lee, for reminding me of Steve Ballmer. We'll talk about him in a minute. Anyway. Everyone into the church, even if you're Jewish, Muslim, or communist, come in. Don't join the choir. Come into the stalls and listen attentively.
In cyber is a real domain of power. In cyber is a real domain of power.
Hola, Internet Amigos. Sorry, this is the cheapy 4K camera, but unfortunately my little laptop cannot handle 4K, so it looks a bit funny, but I'll keep it in for fun. Now, just briefly, we want to go over Microsoft and Steve Ballmer. If you don't know who Steve Ballmer is, he started Microsoft with good old Bill Gates and the real brains behind it all. What's wrong with my brain? Steve Allen, dunk. Just as Wozniak was the brains behind Apple, Steve Allen was the real core coding programmer behind Microsoft, and they ripped him off. Steve Ballmer is a piece of garbage. We'll get on to him in a second. So Microsoft is a national security threat, says ex-White House cyber policy director. Fancy that. This is from 21st of April 2024. Microsoft has a shocking level of control over IT within the US federal government, so much so that former senior White House cyber policy director AJ Grotto thinks it's fair to call Redmond? Try Tel Aviv. Or Kiryat, or where. Recent security failures a national security issue. Really? Whitney. What? Whitney. NVIDIA, you better not have... Whitney. You better not be cutting out my Whitney call. That's my mating call. You better not be cutting that out. Whitney decided this wasn't important at all. Grotto this week spoke with the Register in an interview you can watch below. Bloody, 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 blah. We're going to SolarWinds. Basically, it's a gigantic catastrophe. And what's interesting is Microsoft employs more workers per capita in Israel than anywhere else on earth, says Ballmer. Steve Ballmer is a literal coke-addicted fucking nutcase. Like, literally. Visiting CEO hails remarkable Israeli high-tech, says his firm looks to its Israeli R&D centers for ideas, innovation, even leadership. This is from 2012, 5th of November 2012, the Times of Israel. All right, they were both incompetent, Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer. They were handed this stuff, but then so was Steve Jobs. I mean, we'll talk about it in a second. Xerox, yeah, that's Xerox. You know, the photocopying company? They're the ones who invented the mouse and the graphical user interface. They invented it. And the book Fire in the Valley is the best book you will ever read. They made a movie based on it, and it's awesome. We're going to show you an extract, and it's available for free on YouTube. You must watch it. That is one of the most accurate representations of Apple and the founding of Apple and Microsoft. There's lots missing, but that gives you the indication they're all a bunch of thieves, all of them. So there's Steve Ballmer there, who is a fucking nutcase, hookers into hookers and all sorts of stuff. Microsoft is Israeli almost as much as it is American. That's in 2008. Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer in Israel to inaugurate its new R&D center. Oh gee, oh gee, oh dear, oh my. George. You remember this one, of course. 10 great reasons why Microsoft loves Israeli ingenuity. 25 years of Microsoft. This is from March the 3rd, 2016. That's the new head. Cyber Solutions, Crowd Security. Numerous reports suggest that the multinational company is transforming its Israeli R&D centers into the nucleus for global development of cyber tech for Windows and Microsoft cloud services. I'll read that for you again. Numerous reports suggest that the multinational company is transforming its Israeli R&D centers into the nucleus, look it up, nucleus, for global development of cyber tech for Windows and Microsoft cloud services. I'll show them all. And of course, they refuse to say which parts of Windows are Israeli, quote. You will, of course, remember this. In surprise move, Microsoft Israel's R&D center names new 34-year-old CEO Asaf Rapoport. He's a graduate of both the Telpiot program, Unit 8200. Got him fired. That's January 18, 2018. Within 3 weeks of Diane, the cat diva from Tennessee, getting me a bunch of emails to DOD, DOJ, and all this sort of stuff. And I sent a very cryptic, well-worded, very short, with links to my YouTube videos. Lo and behold, Asaf Rapoport is suddenly kaput. And then this happened. Asaf Rapoport steps down as head of Microsoft Israel's R&D. Rapoport first joined the company in 2015. Suddenly, he stepped down. What happened? Former head of research, Yoram Yakovi, stepped down September 2017. Rapoport was 34 at the time. Now he's launching his own startup and he's gone. What a coincidence. 3 weeks after I sent out those emails. What a coincidence. But what I should have done was gone on Twitter or 4chan on 8chan and said, F the Jews. Yeah, I have been trolling Jews lately. There's a reason for that. And all that other stuff. And yeah, video 66 about Chabad and dejudification camps just will not load. Okay, you win, Rumble. I'm sure you're looking out for us because the Republican Party, as you know, are going to take up this issue. That's fine. So I won't load it public. It can stay on my Patreon. All right? Let's keep moving on. Now, you, of course, know also about Intel Corporation, Barak Echenick, and all the rest, backdoors, Chris Thomas, God Mode Unlocked, all that good stuff. So, with this in mind, how do you think the Israelis compromised Steve Ballmer? Was he on Epstein Island or their equivalent? Have they got another equivalent? Kay Griggs told us about it all the way back in 1997. All the Israeli orgy parties in Marseille, France, and all the rest. So, where do you think Steve Ballmer was compromised? But could you compromise Steve Ballmer, his reputation for strippers and drugs? What proof is there of this? I don't know. Let's try this. Thanks for reminding me, Lee. Just wondering if this is significant. Tell me what you think. It's Friday night, after all. Let's have a look. What's going on?
And Steve Ballmer!
Wow, it's Friday night. How could he have been compromised? That's all I'm asking. Friday night. Come on, everybody. How could they compromise Steve Ballmer? How? It's a mystery.
Who said sit down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have 4 words for you.
Columbia.
Love this company. Yes!
How could they have done it?
Developers.
Yeah. This goes shit, man. Look at it. Yeah. Fucking hell. Thank you, Lee. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Yeah, go on, Steve. Come to Israel. Nice visit. Here's our secretary, Sarah. She's 16, 15, I mean 18. Yeah. Yeah. Alpha Gamma Pi, fucking sorority, yeah. La, 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 la. Good, yeah. Now, but seriously, I'm curious how Microsoft may have been compromised by Israelis. You know, that's all I'm asking. It's a great mystery. We may find out one day, like this image, you know, hanging out there at Davos with Bibi. This is the quote. While Microsoft is known for many things, it is best known for Windows, and for years rumors have swirled that major parts of the operating system were developed in Israel, something the company has confirmed, although it has never specified just which components of Windows are Israeli. Yeah. There's Bill on Epstein Island with the little boys and the little girls. Yeah. Anyway, it's a big mystery as to how Israel got its hands on Microsoft CEOs and Brian Gachanik and Intel. We'll probably find out one day, but like I said, it's a great mystery. I think it's time to move on now. We shall move on to the pointless crap of protesting over Gaza. There we go. That's much better. Nice color. That's the OBSBot. The other one's a cheap one. But I don't think this poor little laptop, even with the mobile 4080 GPU, can handle it. Poor baby. Anyway, let's get on to this. Activism. Now, this is a funny take. We could go here, but I don't know, that camera's, the frame rate's shocking. But here's just an example. I know it's more serious than this. The shutting down the universities has been quite big. It's all just a bunch of leftist, communist fucking retards. I wish they would put them in Gaza and get rid of them. Like, if I could get a red button, I'd pretty much press it. Just get rid of them. I'm becoming ruthless and really nasty and a Luciferian rationalist in my old age. I really am. I mean, I'd give them one chance. We'll put them into a 2-week FEMA camp and just say, look, this is how the world works, and we'll discuss what they don't talk about. Do you know what you're being used for? How many of you are aware? And then if after 2 weeks they still don't get it, then I just put them in Gaza and just stick them in the apartment blocks, and the Israelis can just fucking kill them because they're just useless, worthless eaters. That's all I have to say. I don't know how else to say it. Just have a look at them. This fucking clown show.
As protests continue throughout the country to absolutely zero results, Columbia University students have taken to stomping the yard for a ceasefire.
Yeah. Man, I hear BB was shitting. He saw that. He went, oh my goodness, Sarah, look at them dancing. Quickly, call my
Which is sad how they've actually taken the fake meme of 5 TikTok dances you can do to help the other war and made it into a reality. Because as the university began putting up walls around the school, these students went right back to essentially rain dancing for justice.
Never seen a dead body in their life. It's so funny.
And whatever the heck this is.
Oh, they got BlackRock in there. No, this is serious. This is serious.
But the
This
worst
stuff is
part
going
about
on.
all of this is at neighboring NYU, these students have no idea what they're actually protesting for.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU is doing.
Is there something that NYU is doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU is
I always thought these people were actors. And Americans are shooting. Oh, no, they're real. That's why my American friends say, we love you, Brendan. It's quaint. Your love for America is beautiful.
It's really interesting how just last election cycle
calm.
we saw similar protests from nearly the same exact group. Plenty of people protesting for George Floyd despite never actually watching the arrest tape or reading the actual autopsy. Plenty of people marching and donating to BLM despite not actually knowing what the organization was really doing. And now, plenty of useful idiots getting caught up in the same social media storm for justice and ruining their single greatest chance to propel them above poverty. But
That guy's laughing. All he does is sit in his room with his mic and his little script and his little teleprompter. He's making a killing. Good on him. He does some good basic analysis, decoy voice. Let's talk about this. Now, we could get up that most of BB's security cabinet are resigning because none of them can explain exactly how it is the Hamas flying monkeys managed to breach the wall. And as many Israelis were coming out saying, hey, I worked for 3 years monitoring that wall. It is impossible, literally impossible to have breached that wall without knowing. Rumors I heard, I had a few contacts, they said the rumors were there was gunfire very early in the morning before at that key camp place, and that some Russian Israelis when they're in uniforms killing the people and allowing it to happen. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard very early on. It's not easy to kill 1,200 men, women, and children, breach that fence. And even Steve Bannon said, hey, you're the greatest military in the world. How'd they breach that fence? So now you have some good old-fashioned resignations, which mean probably pretty much nothing. But imagine this. Well, we all know that. Let's ask some simple questions. Simple questions about Hamas. For instance, Qatar. Qatar is in where? Is it in Antarctica? Is it in Australia? Tasmania? Where is Qatar? Well, it's in the Middle East, right near UAE and Dubai and all the rest of that stuff. And Qatar, where Al Jazeera is based, I was actually going to fly there originally before we went to Lebanon. Qatar has one of the biggest UK-US air bases in the world. Let's get that up. Let us please remember, it's just a post on my Patreon. They took down my Hamas Stop the Rockets off Patreon. They hide my brilliance. I am sad. Gaza invasion. Of course, remember, anyone who wants to thwart the establishment of a Palestinian state has to support bolstering Hamas and transferring money to Hamas. Netanyahu told his Likud party's Knesset, this is Haaretz, members in March 2019, this is part of our strategy. Truth be told, Netanyahu's objective is to prevent the two-state option and therefore turn Hamas into his closest ally. Openly, Hamas is the enemy beneath the surface. An ally, yes, they're a total creation of Likud and Israeli drug money. There is Khaled Marshall with the only true Muslim revolutionary I've ever heard of, which is Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, as he tried to bring both Sunni and Shia together. That's how you know they're for real. Khaled Marshall is where? Well, in Where's Waldo game, this is the biggest airbase in Qatar. United States Royal Air Force and other foreign forces. This is like, they literally share a Starbucks with Khaled Marshall. They literally share a Starbucks. I'm not even joking. Has anyone seen the Hamas leadership at the local Starbucks? I saw a guy with a beard once. All right, this is huge. There we are. There's Qatar. Okay. Think about it. There's the Where's Waldo Hamas terrorist radar finder. Raytheon TP2 beard and fish shake finder, only $1 trillion in development. No one knows where Khalid Marshall is and the entire Hamas leadership. They're also in NATO Turkey. Yes, they're in NATO Turkey, but no one knows where they are. It's all a great mystery. And John Bolton, he's here in Qatar there, down at the airbase. Fancy that. Maybe he saw Khalid and they shared a Starbucks, put artificial sweetener in. What do you think? You know? Know what I mean? Do what, Governor? Does that any of this make sense to you at all? Do you understand Kay Griggs? It's all fake. As Donald Trump showed us with Iran, they call, can we please fire a few missiles at you? Look what they're doing to Hezbollah. They're just slapping Hezbollah like a bunch of bitches, and the Hez is just taking it. They're just taking it. It's all fake. It's drugs, drug money laundering, all the black money, child sex assault, sex trafficking, every bit of dark, disgusting, vile money you can think of. It all goes into that secondary weapon sales, as Kay Griggs told us all about it, didn't she? She told us all about it. Kay Griggs talks. They run them all. And then actually Jaleel sent me this picture. Oh, I can't show it, but it's Israelis, the 6 Day War, whenever it was, and they're holding pictures of Assad's father, saying how wonderful he was. It's all bullshit. All of it. It's about local populations, including the local Israeli population, getting them under control, including the local Saudi, UAE, all the bright young colonels. They've got to get them under control and distracted. Kill them off, demoralize them. Syria, Iraq, Libya, or everywhere else. Turkey's especially important to keep that local population under control. And the whole point is to prepare the area with technology ready to go. They've had enormous problems. 1988, they lost the security contract to the World Trade Center. And because of that, they couldn't pull off 9/11 around 1988, 1990. No internet, no cameras, no nothing. Oda-Junon would have taken off. They would have completed the Oda-Junon plan. They would have done it. But it was too late. They couldn't pull it off. This is a tiny group of people. Hail Hydra. You know what I mean? Hail Hydra. Where are it? I still don't know where all the, you know how sad it is that I don't know where all the buttons are. Where are all the buttons? Where's my Hail Hydra button? Oh, this is crazy. Okay, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. 1 second.
But this isn't the place to talk about it. It's a nice pen. Thank you. Come here. Hail Hydra.
Now that's Captain America the Winter Soldier. The whole conspiracy is in Captain America the Winter Soldier. The literal entire conspiracy released 2014. Whole thing, it's above forms. That's why they can fill Israel with pretend Russian Jews who are effing spies, according to sources within the Mueller report, which Whitney didn't tell you about. Well, maybe she did somewhere for 10 seconds. So we can ask the simple questions. It's bullshit. All this weaponry that's brought in, and little Nasrallah with his beard, it's going to come out he's an MI6, not MI. Well, we say MI6, but it's East India Company. Okay, they run British intelligence. It's a private contracting service now. And he shakes his little fist and he combs his little beard and he puts his little muller's hat on and he goes, well, look at me, I'm in dress-ups, you better watch out. This is the game. Oh, they have all this technology, but they can't find all the bank accounts and they can't track the weapon shipments. They're confused. It's all fucking bullshit. Total, absolute bullshit. And attending these stupid fucking protests will achieve nothing. I've been watching this since 1995. A long time. I used to know a lot of the players. We begged and begged and begged since 2005 to start playing the game. Stop going, firing your guns in the air, get English-speaking women, dress them more like Western people, and start talking like the red-headed West Bank Palestinian girl, and start speaking in English. And they're not allowed to. I went to Lebanon. We went with Sufyan. It was all organized, and we met all these people, and they all agreed, and nothing happens because the money's too powerful. All right, the young dumb. Well, you might hate them, obviously, but they mean well. They've been treated like dogs, so what do you expect? Right? And then they pour the money into crates, like arming the Indians, giving them whiskey and firearms to the Indians so you can kill them. And it's like meth and AK-47s to the Indians. And that's the game. Until they can get all the control measures in. Local populations, siempre, they fight and hate each other, doesn't matter. Their local populations they're terrified of. They're doing deals with China right now. Big acting going on. China's going to do this. China's a fucking joke. Every bit as a joke like as fucking Russia. All right? Ukraine had to be artificially starved of ammunition before Russia could even get a look in. It's absurd. McGregor's there. They're going to get all the way to the Dnipro. And it's like, oh, God. Did you see they were walking towards Avdiivka, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of burnt out, not just damaged, I mean exploded into pieces, burnt out wrecks. And they're all, oh, Putin's the biggest globalist out there with Heinz. I don't even know what to say. You're hanging your best friends openly with Heinz Kissinger and Klaus Schwab and Yevgeny Primakov and, you know, this good old multipolar world order, which is the best video you can watch. The Primakov Doctrine explains the whole thing. But, you know, this is the internet and money talks, you know, money talks. So all we have to do to all the college graduates as they dance and stomp their feet and Bibi sits in terror. I mean, think about how deluded and mentally ill these people really, really are. Now, let's watch this. Watch this. Let's go here to, where is it? This is a 5-minute video. We're going to watch the whole thing. Listen to what she doesn't say. Now, this is, if you go, this is Double Down News, which is basically Mint Press News reincarnated. It's a Soros type intel operation. Now, they all have the same speech. They don't tell you about the multipolar world order. They don't tell you about the relationship between Israel, Iran, and the Eurasian Economic Union. They don't tell you about the City of London and the banking cartel in Europe. All right, they don't tell you about Rothschild, never leaves their fucking lips. They don't tell you the history of the penetration of the United States. Remember, America's bad. Americans don't even run American policy. That's the whole point. They haven't put together Epstein yet. Have you noticed they haven't quite put together Epstein and the blackmail rings? Have they told, you know, they're all about boycott, divest, but they never tell you about Intel Corporation. They never tell you about Microsoft. When's the last time you heard them talk about Israel being a cyber technology juggernaut? They touch on it here. Oh, Microsoft is spying on Palestinians. Look at what we talk about, and then look about what they talk about. These big, huge channels with lawyers and all these people, and they know fucking nothing. Do you seriously believe that these people, they're all the same Whitney Webb type network? All the same. Let's watch this shit.
The U.S. is the single driving force behind the genocide of Palestinian civilians.
The U.S. is the single driving force. The U.S., everybody. The U.S. is the single driving force. Now, why does she push this? She pushes this narrative because the aim is to break off public opinion from Israel so Bibi and his friends will get generalized acceptance from the general population. They're colonels. They're business people. The managerial class, especially the peasants, just shut up and do as they're told. It's the managerial class they want. They're lawyers, they're highly educated, to accept that it's over and we have to go with Russia, China, and the multipolar world order. That's the game. So they go, look, they're exposing Israel. No. They're trying to break off US public opinion. That's the game. They work. They don't work for Russia and China. They work for the East India Company, Soros, Kissinger, those networks, that money. Listen, America bad. America bad. It's America.
Right now, they're paying for it, they're arming it. So the notion that nobody's done more to safeguard the suffering of Palestinian civilians is part of the fiction. Everything the U.S. says about the universality of human rights.
Please tell us about Hamas killing 1,200. Gee, that was a smart move. Wonder who. Tell us about Bibi. Why doesn't she tell us about Bibi? You know, about funding tell us about funding Hamas. Tell us about that. Tell us about how they got through the fence.
Rights is nothing but a mirage. It's all rooted in double standards and hypocrisy. Human rights are not for everyone. The U.S. has always sought to protect and shield Israel from accountability for its crimes, very much in opposition to the world. The U.S. has consistently undermined Palestinian rights and consistently supported the aggressor. So Genocide Joe's
look at that picture. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, Bastard Joe. Joe's going, who's this guy? Who are you? Bastard. Look at that picture, eh? I wonder if they'll ever show this picture. What about that picture? Do you reckon she'll ever show that picture? What do you reckon? She shows that picture, not a problem. But for some reason, she don't want to show that picture right there. And ask, hey, have you seen this funny article? Israel and Iran both set to join Russia-led free trade zone after 2 rounds of negotiations. Jerusalem close to agreement with Eurasian Economic Union. Separately, Tehran also set to sign deal in the near future. 12th February 2019. There they are, thick as this. No, she's not going to mention that. No. What about this? Do you think she'll ever mention this? Machiavellian German refugee Kissinger shaped U.S. policy with Jewish philosophy. Do you reckon she'll ever talk about this and string a few theories together? Do you reckon? Do you reckon she'll ever work this one out? Do you reckon? Do you reckon the word Rothschilds are going to leave her fucking disgusting, sad, pathetic piece of shit lips? I have to use the language. I have to use that language.
I see as an extension of U.S. foreign policy towards Palestine and not as an exception or an aberration.
No American president will let Israel go down the tube. Democrat or Republican, it's not an issue.
When we look at Israel and we try to understand this bizarre relationship between the U.S.-Israel and the...
Look, bizarre. She says it's... Why is it bizarre? What, you haven't been watching the fucking news? Epstein? Has she got any fucking analysis? Has she got anything to say? That is the fucking enemy right there. That is the enemy. Do I have to get angry for you, America? There are ramifications for these fucking people. There are ramifications. This is the enemy. Oh, look, boo Israel. Boo Israel. But America bad. It's America. Who do you think she fucking works for? She's fucking Shlomo Adler. She's Frank Coe. She is the Silver Master fucking spy ring. That's what she is. Oh, she's a Muslim? Is she? She a Muslim? Do you know the depths of these online psychological warfare operations? You think it's a joke. It's not a fucking joke. That's the fucking enemy. She is seeking to destroy the United States and the Republic. There must, at some stage, be fucking ramifications. Right now, there's no ramifications. In fact, they make fucking money. And you sit there and go, isn't it terrible, Deirdre? I may clutch my pearls. When? Because you haven't felt pain. You haven't had your arm broken. You haven't feared for the safety of yourself and your friends and your loved ones. You haven't feared. Do you sit there? It's a game. At best, it's a game. You're in line. Yeah, man. When is someone going to start looking these people up? When? These are the enemy. Double down years. Free the people from the colonial oppressor. Oh, what language is that, Frank Coe, Shlomo Adler? Chinese Communist Party friends, Kissinger and Associates, Frankfurt School. Get in her fucking face and say, hi, have you seen this flyer? Do you grasp this very simple concept? Why don't you talk about this? Oh, Israel's the enemy. Boy, why don't you take the national security stance? No. It's the enemy. It is the enemy. She's assisting in the murder of 30,000 plus Palestinians. She assists when she won't tell the fucking truth. She is a murderer. Whitney Webb is a murderer. James Corbett is a murderer. The Last American Vagabond is a fucking murderer. Alex Jones and the rest of the multimillionaires. Murder. Literal criminal negligence. Minimum. If I don't tell the truth and I know the truth and I play games with the truth, my guilt is assured. There's just pleas in mitigation for the sentencing. Well, I'm a moron, I'm weak, I'm pathetic, or I'm a true believer. And the sentence will be handed down according to those pleas in mitigation for the sentencing. But the fucking guilty is sitting there with free the people. It's America bad. I don't know how to make Americans get pissed off.
Words which are always used to describe this relationship.
So I fought for Israel like no president ever before?
It's always an unbreakable bond.
Israel has built unbreakable bonds of friendship.
Why is it an unbreakable bond, my love? Why is that?
The bonds between the United States and Israel are unbreakable.
Our
Tell us about
unbreakable
Unit
alliance
8200
with
and Top Your
Israel.
program.
Shared values.
We're united in our shared values. The connection between the Israeli people and the American people is bone deep.
Support for Israel has always been bipartisan. So for many of us, it's in our DNA.
That's very strange language to use. I mean, it's a completely separate country that has nothing to do with the United States in theory, but in fact, in practice, Israel is an extension of the American imperial project in the Middle East.
American imperial project. There's the fucking enemy. What's the little red girl with the red rose, do you think? What's that about? Nice piece of art. Like the girl with the red jacket? Is that the girl with the red jacket in Schindler's List?
I think it's about time we stop, those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel. There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region.
If this capital crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel.
Any American right now watching this unfold should be deeply troubled because without U.S. financial support for Israel's apartheid regime, without the U.S.'s financial support for this ongoing genocide, it simply could not take place. And so as an American, to know that every year you pay taxes and that those taxes do not go to building a better educational system in the United States. They don't go to improving our healthcare infrastructure or providing more Americans with access to affordable health care.
Withdraw, America. Withdraw out of the Middle East. Withdraw out of NATO. Withdraw. Get out of Europe. Go on. Go on. Get out, because there's the Primakov doctrine in the Middle East to unfold. There's the multipolar world order and the Primakov doctrine. America, go home. Go home, America. Build new hospitals. Go on, withdraw. You've done your dirty work. And she's a little bit worried, too, that 2 Marine divisions might be about to land in Gaza. And Bibi's a little bit worried about 2 Marine divisions landing in Gaza, too.
They don't go to ending student debt. They don't go to curing the problem of homelessness. They don't go to making sure that all of America's children are fed. They don't go to dealing with any of the domestic issues that we are facing as a people in the United States. Instead,
withdraw, solve the fentanyl crisis. Withdraw, America. Withdraw from the world. Chinese Communist Party asks you to withdraw. Russian Tsar Putin, friend of Klaus Schwab and Heinz Kissinger, asked you to withdraw. And this piece of cunt shit from Double Down News also asks you to withdraw. I'm getting angry for you, America, because you clearly will not get fucking angry. You will not get smart. You will not understand the Frankfurt School. You will not understand communist doctrine. You will not understand Heinz Kissinger and George Soros and the right and left hands of fucking Rothschild. And these fuckers are united in what? These fuckers are united in one thing. None of them can say fucking Rothschild. None of them can focus on the city of London and the bank, the Rothschild clan in Paris, France, Frankfurt, Germany, Basel, Switzerland. They don't want to tell you about the funding of ISIS via these same methods. They don't want to tell you about Israel's total control of the United States Congress. They don't want to tell you about how they control through blackmail, bribery, and the long history of this. She ain't going to tell you who fucking Kay Griggs is. This cunt of a thing is the enemy. And let me tell you, when the shit goes down and the fucking United States starts breaking up, is the enemy. The enemy. The enemy. And I don't know how to convince you to get angry when it works for Israel. It works for Israel. It works for Bibi. And you can debate whether she's even a fucking Muslim. Is she? How do you even fucking know? This is another Al fucking Jazeera. British intelligence. Rothschild funded. But why would they expose Bibi to America? Why would they do these horrible things? To break off American public opinion and build the multipolar world order central to Russia and China and Germany and France and Israel, dummies, and the central bankers. She is the enemy. Stop being so stupid. Stop being so stupid. She is the enemy. The little red girl in the little red coat, always into their signs and symbols.
Israelis have subsidized healthcare, that Israelis have access to affordable housing in illegal settlements on stolen Palestinian land. That money is being sent to Israel to prop up its military, which is responsible for carrying out a 56-year-long military occupation. That money is being sent to ensure that Israel can carry out.
Tell us Michael Collins Piper and the assassination of Kennedy with the Israelis' involvement. Come on, tell us David Ben-Gurion. Tell us about that, you useless cunt. All you fucking lawyers, all these fucking geniuses that come out of their little fucking communist training school at the University of Chicago. Amazingly, none of them could. Do you seriously believe after all this time these fuckers have no idea who Clay Griggs is? No idea. They just appear and suddenly they're just mouthing. Have you not seen? It's like a McDonald's kudika. It's a McDonald's fucking menu. It's the same shit. And it's all in unison across the fucking board with these people. They make my blood boil. Oh, they care about the Palestinians. They don't give a shit about Palestinians. They are the enemy.
These crimes. And that should be deeply troubling to every single American. Even Americans who, let's say, look, I don't care about politics. It's all so far away. It doesn't affect me. I understand not everyone has to be interested in international politics, and there's so many conflicts happening all around the world. How could you possibly keep up with all of them? But if you were to keep up with just one of them, you should probably pay attention to this one, because your money is being sent to finance this particular conflict. That's money that not only do you need, but also could be used in many more beneficial ways. So we should all have a problem with the way that US taxpayer money is being used to continue to deny millions of Palestinians their human rights, and do everything in our power to stop this. It's so essential in this moment to center Palestine.
The future of journalism. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Why didn't she tell you about Bibi funding Hamas? Why doesn't she say, instead of talking about this shit, withdraw America bad, it's America's fault, it's America's fault, America's running it, not Israel, not the city of London. She doesn't have any pictures of Benjamin Netanyahu hanging out with Lord Jacob fucking Rothschild. She doesn't mention Heinz Kissinger and the links between Klaus Schwab, Davos, and all this stuff. Look, withdraw America, withdraw. She's the enemy. These people don't fear anything. There are no consequences to their lies. It is lies. You know why she's up there on the screen with 500,000 subscribers on Double Down News? Because she is Israeli. They run all of those groups. They didn't forget about the opposition. As Lenin says, the way you control the opposition is to be the opposition, create the opposition. Haven't you noticed that the people that get the most publicity will not tell you the central narrative of the City of London? If you can't start at the City of London Foundation System, Frankfurt School, and all of that great stuff, all that old stuff, the Myron Fagans of the world, the Professor Israel Shahaks, all the old school, can't even quote Professor Shlomo Sand. They can't quote the most basic of things. But they got this real anti-colonial rhetoric going on. Who do you fucking think that is? Who? Withdraw. There are no consequences for these people, and you can't get angry because it's just a movie. It's just a movie. It's an issue you can gather around with friends, that you can feel emotions over, you can be horrified by, but there's no consequences. You haven't felt the pain. The pain will come. And if these fuckers and the rest of them, like the Whitney Webbs of the world, this is just another fucking Mint Press News, another intel operation funded by fucking George Soros. People can't see it. It's right in front of your fucking eyes. But why would she criticize Israel? Because the point is to break off US public opinion. That's why. Then create anti-Semitism and hatred for fucking Jews, so that Jews will then run to the Federated States of Greater Israel, built up by 666 Chabad fucking Lubavitch, Heinz Kissinger, Frankfurt School, right hand of Rothschild, Jared Kushner and co. and the Abraham Accords, getting ready to build the Federated States of Greater Israel. And in 2019, when Big Dick Cheney was sitting on that stage in Dubai getting lectured to by that Singaporean piece of shit, Little Israel, as they call it, China's wonderful. You're a bully, America. You're a bully. And there's Big Dick sitting there taking it like a bitch. 2019. Why? Because it wasn't happening. They were getting upset. Why aren't you sticking to the bargain of the multipolar world order? We brought in Trump with Kissinger to do this job. Jared Kushner was building the Federated States of Greater Israel with the Abraham Accords. You know, the New York fucking liberals who believe in global warming and polar bear farts. And everybody's confused about these fucking fake groups. They're fake. The aim is to break off US public opinion. And you can protest all fucking day. I've been watching it for 25 fucking years. It's never worked. And we said over and over with Sufjan and Louis and others, national security, national security, national security. Then someone will listen, people with power. They are seeking to break off the youth in a long multi-decade program to break off US public opinion so the US will withdraw. It was the dream of the bankers. Get fucking America out of Eurasia. Get them out. It's always been the plan. Building the multipolar world order. Germany, France, sovereign Israel, sovereign Germany, sovereign France, and sovereign Russia and sovereign China don't exist. They are the bankers. They are employees of the bankers just as fucking she is. How do I get you angry? Do you think she gives a flying fuck about Palestinians? Have you ever seen people in pain? For those of you that served in the military, you've not just seen bad things, you know, body disfigurement, horrible things. I've seen some things, but not to the extent that is. And it's sudden in the military. Boom. 1 minute they're there, the next minute they're digging out your friend's bone splinters out of your own body. And, you know, half his jaw's gone because it's a shaped charge, IED, courtesy of General Soleimani on a roadside bomb. You don't know pain and you don't know suffering and you haven't had the power go out yet. There's a war going on. And these fuckers are sitting in the United States. Don't tell me they don't know. They don't know. Bullshit. They fucking know. These are paid employees. This is very concise psychological warfare. Why do you think Al Jazeera? Al Jazeera is literally British intelligence. It's literally the East India Company. It is funded by fucking Soros, which is a front. It is a front for the City of London Banking Foundation. You think, but why are they exposing Bibi and AIPAC and I mean, it's crazy. Well, they're exposing themselves. It doesn't even make sense, Brendan. They are breaking off public opinion. What was happening in 2017? What was happening? I was in Iran at the time. They were getting ready for the multipolar world order. They were breaking off they don't care about us. Fucking stupid, dumb cunt fucking people. They don't care. They care about the managerial class, the lower end military. The lower-end lawyers and doctors and politicians who aren't in on it. They've got to break their public opinion off. Bibi's in on it, but not the lower downs. They have to be brought in. Bibi has to go to a meeting and say, look, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah threw another rock at me again and accused me of screwing my secretary. At least I screw grown adults, you know, unlike everyone, we compromised. But look, everybody, unfortunately, American public opinion is turning. You've seen me on Al Jazeera. They're killing us here. We've got to go with Russia and China. We have no choice. But I don't want to go with Russia and China. My friends are all in America. I want to be American. I want to go to the beach. I do not want to be involved with Russia and China. Yeah, I'm the same, bro. I'm the same, brothers and sisters, my fellow Jews and non-Jewish Russian friends. But we're all in this together. But you've seen public opinion is turning against us. We will have to go with Russia and China. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. You don't see how that works. Bibi's already in on it. Look at Syria. I have to fight with people when they say Putin saved Syria. I said, do you not think that the Wahhabists who are in bed with Israel, the leadership, all right, you don't think they were funding ISIS, getting rid of their own extremists to kill them off, MBS, to kill them off, send them out into Iraq to die in Syria, to be slaughtered, because they got a big problem with their Wahhabist youth, radical youth. I mean, they would go in and see sheikhs would offer clemency, and they would come back with grenades up their assholes, literally, up their assholes. It's a famous case, look it up. He stuck a grenade up his ass, pulled the pin, blew it up. Blew himself to pieces and his guts was in the roof and the sheikh was okay. But I mean, you're talking fanatics. That's who they're trying to kill off. Kill them off, send them out into there with the Swiss bankers funding all this shit. Same people that are funding Hamas, the same people that are funding Hezbollah. They've got to create chaos and destruction and then the rebuilding into the smart cities program. And that's what she's a fucking part of. This thing, which direction? That direction? that direction. She looks nice. She seems like a nice person, and she's a lawyer, and she works with the Double Down News. She's got her big paintings behind her, the girl in the little red dress and the red coat. Brandon, why are you calling her C-U-N-T? How mean and vicious, you beast. You'll find out why. You'll find out why. Do you think there's any difference between that woman and this lot here?
I'm about to show you footage from an undercover Al Jazeera investigation that was actually blocked from release in the United States and then subsequently leaked online.
It was basically just like Noah Pollock coming and being like, look, there are these jihadis who basically support suicide bombing, and they're at a campus, and you have to stop them. Do you know what my worst nightmare is? I'm actually not kidding. It's a photo of Dion and I together, and we're just like clearly identifiable.
You don't think these are all actors?
Traitors who sold
Crisis
out
actors? You don't think she's a fucking crisis actor?
Cost $50,000 plus benefits.
The way you're putting it kind of sounds a bit like astroturfing.
But it's been leaked out through TikTok.
No, this is actually the definition. There's a bus.
Intrigue.
What does that mean? So it's when you set up things.
It's the difference between grassroots and astroturf.
It's not that astroturfing is wrong. It's just that like your astroturf has to be like committed.
You see? Have we lost the Red Sea? What's going on with shipping? Do you think the $1.2 trillion US military budget has lost the Red Sea to a bunch of Houthis in sandals with a cut lunch sandwich, a bottle of water, an AK-47, some flippers and a snorkel? I mean, seriously. They're cutting fiber optic cables. I mean, fucking seriously. I don't know what to say. I'm getting frustrated. Cops are testing AI. Basically, it goes off the camera and writes a report. It's all coming. You know that. That's it. It's Friday night. I got to go out, and you know what I'm going to do? I got to leave you with Steve Ballmer, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Ballmer!
How did Israel get him? How did Israel compromise Steve Ballmer and Microsoft? It's a mystery. Maybe the fucking Double Down News woman will tell us. It's a mystery, man. How? Maybe Double Down News will tell us all about Epstein and the blackmail rings and Kay Griggs and stuff. Foundation system of control. Soros, Kissinger. Man, mention Rothschild. Ladies and gentlemen, get off your knees. I don't know what to say sometimes. Look, that's it for me. It's Friday night. How long have we been going for? It is 57 minutes. It's meant to be 30 minutes. I'm getting better. I'm going to cut it off now. I'm going to leave you with the great F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah, I'm deliberately being nasty and mean. There are good things happening, but I don't know. I don't know how to get you angry enough to get in people's faces somehow. How to get hit teams. We need hit teams. We need serious fucking killers, man, to get in front of those people's faces. Where are they? Up in Windsor? Where are they? Up in Chicago, Detroit, somewhere? Get in their faces and say, hey, have you seen our flyers? And ask them, what's the problem? Head down to the Friends of Palestine meetings and go and infect them and ask, why won't you talk about BDS all the fucking time, you know, soda stream makers and bullshit. It's just a complete fucking decoy. Meanwhile, Israel is a cyber technology juggernaut. The second eye of the Five Eyes network.
You know the Five Eyes? Israel is the sixth eye? No, Israel is the second eye. Israel is the second eye. Israel is the second eye. Israel is the second eye.
Oh, my.
They've infiltrated absolutely everything. They run Microsoft, they run Intel, they're running all the Department of Homeland Security computers, they're running all the police databases, the FBI, the CIA, they run Amazon, they run fucking everything. And you'd think that fucking cunt of a thing, this cunt of a thing, might have something to say about it. So I'm not sure. You let me know when you've had enough. And when you start actually getting angry and not just sitting going, oh, well, that's close enough. That's good. She means well. It's not bad. It is true. She raises some valid points. When are you actually going to get angry? She's a fucking liar. As surely as Bibi getting in front of a camera and telling you, oh, my God, the terrorists are here, she is the same. She is the same. She is no different. And until you get that, It's going to be very hard to rearrange things and change things. Very difficult. If this basic narrative can't get out there, the things we talk about, the basic things, the only way to do it is to get offline. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy your Friday night. Sorry for the swearing. Hope your kids weren't in the room. We'll talk again very, very soon. F. Scott Fitzgerald, quote, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. One should, for example, be able to see that things are hopeless and yet be determined to make them otherwise. This philosophy fitted on to my early adult life when I saw the improbable, the implausible, often the impossible, come true."
What is our common bond truly? Freedom. Freedom. Without freedom, you can't be a Christian no matter what denomination you belong to. You can't be a Buddhist. You can't own a donut shop. You can't drive from here to Oregon. You can't be an American because that's what it's all about, and it's the only thing that it's all about, nothing else. Nothing else. It's about freedom.